So recently I did a promo session for one of my regular clients. It's a band called Rattlesnake Suitcase. They're here in Arizona. Total dad rock if that's your vibe. Super fun, old school rock and roll. Anyways, they had a recent lineup change. We haven't done promos for them in about 6 months, if not maybe a little bit longer. And I always recommend bands when you have new releases, and even if not, every 6 months at the very least, get yourself some new promos, because things are going to change, looks are going to change, styles are going to change, the marketing of your band is going to change. That being said, super simple idea, and I had actually given them a low-key proposal, because again, they're one of my regular clients, and when you've been working with a band that long, we've been working with a client that long, you go away from your typical, formal proposals and formal pitches, and you tend to kind of just talk with these guys over a beer or two about the ideas you have, and almost everything I do with these guys comes down that way. It's a lot less formal with them, because at this point, we have established that kind of relationship, which is a really nice thing about having a band that you work with, whether it's a client that you work with, whether it's a band or a restaurant or whatever it may be. When you have that level of trust, you can kind of be like, hey, here's my idea, I'll put it in writing, but what do you think about this? And then they end up liking it and you go with it. I wanted it to be very sleazy, and I had this idea of basically outdoor drunken picnic is the way I described it, because we were going to get basically a folding merch table and just get as many beer and liquor cans and bottles just emptied out and just sprawled across the place as we can. But we were going to do this outdoors. We were thinking either a park down the street from the vocalist's house into this video, wherever it need be, because I don't feel like refilming and recording, re-talking through all of that. Anyways, back to the video. Or we were going to go to this empty dirt lot that's over by a music venue nearby and just basically bring some mobile lighting and just kind of set it up there. That was the idea I had in mind. I pull up to the house, sun's going down, perfect, because we wanted it to be nighttime, because again, I wanted to actually light it up outside. I didn't want it to be a daytime shoot. I wanted it to kind of have that old school, just sleazy publication wide angle look. And checking the forecast, it was supposed to be, just a few clouds in the sky. It hadn't rained in a couple weeks. It wasn't supposed to rain for the foreseeable future. Nothing we heard of. This was a few days before the random tornado warning that never happened in Arizona. Of course, I show up. Jared and Ben, the bassist, they're walking out to go get beers for the set decoration, of course, and our own enjoyment. Let's be real here. As they pull out and I start getting my stands and everything like that, it starts pouring down rain, and it's whatever, because I still see patches of sunlight, and it looks like it's not gonna last for a long time, but there's no wind. That's the thing. And we're sitting there, we're talking, we're bullshitting, we're watching this random documentary about Bill Goldberg, and we just keep looking, it's the rain's not letting up. So what do we do, right? We're not gonna cancel. They paid me completely up front because, again, they trust me, and I was I don't want to reschedule on you guys for that, so let's figure something out. We can either wait it out, which I don't mind doing. I don't have anywhere to be for the rest of the night. We're drinking anyways. Now, Zach, the actual vocalist of this band, had also brought up the fact that in the documentary we had just filmed, so many of the scenes that are going throughout the documentary take place at this table. So thematically, it just kind of makes sense to do it in this room anyways. So we said fuck it, and we did it. The way I had the lighting set up was pretty simple. I had 3 of my mount lights with me because, again, I thought this was just going to be a run and gun setup outdoors. Translated indoors pretty well. I had my most powerful of the 3 lights on the left side, just painting the band members, basically being a horizontal source of light that went across all of them. I had my second one, which is almost as powerful, but not quite. I had that almost directly in front of the vocalist, who was on the far right side for a lot of these, but I had it over him, painting at the wall, so that way I could kill the shadows. And finally, there were some dark spots, and to kind of give a little bit of an auxiliary boost to the 2 members on the right side, I had hidden my smallest of the 3 lights behind some of the beer cans we used as props, and just painted it very lightly at the 2 members on the right side, just to fill it out a little bit better. Got a handful of these shots as our main group shot, which is a few different setups, some straight up lineup ones, but some fun ones with, Eiffel Towering with a drink and, a few of them chugging and stuff like that. But all of this was shot on my Tamron 24 2.8, so I could kind of just give it that wide look I was going for. And then for the individual shots, I went back to my 50mm 1.8. I punched it in on APS-C mode, so we're looking at about 75 to 85-ish. For that, I had reframed some of the beer cans to kind of just paint the frame for each of them. Had them each do poses that just fit for them and the personas and the band and everything like that. Mostly gave them just some vertical shots of each of them for this. Yeah, super simple promo shoot with about 3 different concepts that all went down. 1 because we changed our mind, 2 because of the weather, And we ended up on this third one that I was really happy with. Basically, there was like one takeaway from this shoot, moral of the story is just don't be too married to your ideas, because sometimes plan C actually is going to turn out better than plan A was. I've been thinking about telling more of these set stories, so if that's something you're into, subscribe, follow whatever platform you're on, just do what you have to do to keep in touch, because I plan on making some more of these. Hope that was fun, hope you learned something from it, and either way, I'll see you later.